evening, everybody, and welcome to your Survivor Series preview. On the steel chair with me, the owner, the host, true owner of the channel. It is me, Reece. Welcome, one and all. Hope you're all doing well. 5 matches, so we're all going to be here an hour. Iconic drink. If anyone can guess what I'm drinking, like the actual brand, shout out to you. Okay. 5 matches, discuss a potential return, and answer any questions we have from you guys in the chat. We'll see what we get. You know, that's the most important thing, is you guys. So you just get your comments and get your questions, and let's just enjoy the show. I've already taken the banner. I've already taken the matches. Done all this prior, so there's no need to share screen for Slickopedia and all that crap tonight. We're just going to go through it one by one. So, let's begin with this. Oh boy. I'm thinking this might be the opener of the night. If not, it might be the next match, but no doubt they will look to open the show with one of only 2 title matches on the card. I'm going to say this right now. This is embarrassing. Not the match, the show. Like, it's embarrassing that they don't have a single world title match. They're absent world champion that fans dick ride over on social media. Obviously are missing their main man who can't fucking wrestle because he's busy on his island, when in actual fact he's just nowhere to be found because nobody gives a fuck. And then you've got the other one who's in the War Games match, which makes at least a little bit of sense, but again, no world title on, like, in defense. Like, what is the fucking point? But you at least get the title that made wrestling fans, particularly WWE, want to watch the product, and that's the Intercontinental title. So let's deep dive a little bit of this match. Let's deep dive a little bit. As you can tell, the night driving is with us in the background for a smooth tone. Okay. So, Gunther versus The Miz, longest reigning IC champion versus second of all time in terms of amount of reigns, with 8 is The Miz. So we've got a little bit of importance to this match. You've got the longest reign with legacy on the line. You've got the man who's looking to achieve a joint history in becoming the joint most successful Intercontinental champion alongside Chris Jericho with 9 reigns. Build up to this match has generally been quite strong. They've actually enforced a good amount of time and effort into this. I mean, the only thing is, though, can The Miz truly be believable as a babyface? And personally, I'm going to say this. The answer is no. I don't think The Miz is capable of being a babyface in any legitimate sense because of his overall work, his character, his ability in the ring. The man can't do it. I'm sorry, but if you're a Miz fan and you think he's genuinely believable to be a babyface, take your heads out of your ass, because he is not a legitimate babyface that you should want to aspire to or want to enjoy. Like, the man has some great accolades, some importance in the business in terms of longevity, but in terms of overall body of work, he's a heel through and through. They've already tried numerous times to turn him babyface, and the fans saw through it. They were like, fuck this guy. He ain't one of us. Although most of them are dorks, so he is one of them. But wrestling fans with an actual active working brain can see he's not a legitimately good babyface to build a product around, or to put a championship such as the Intercontinental title on to do it as a babyface to go through heels. He's not who I would choose. On the flip side, though, if you want a mid-card cocky heel champion of size and stature of The Miz around that bracket, then you've got a winner, because The Miz delivers. I don't hate The Miz. I don't overly dislike The Miz. I'm not a fan of him either. But you know that his longevity gives you something to at least work around. And when it comes to cocky heels, look on further. That's to all the ones that doubt this man. Like, from him, from me, there you go. Cockiest heel I've ever seen. There's an element of opportunity for this match going into Survivor Series. Several factors, of course. One, we haven't had a Survivor Series screw job in some time. Like, the one thing that Survivor Series was known for, besides the big tag matches, the unpredictability, was a screw job. Several screw jobs, in fact. You can run through them if you want me to, but we all know the more prominent ones. Ironically, though, the man that's been screwed the most at Survivor Series retired a couple of years ago. Just saying. The body of work we're going to see tonight, contrasting styles. You're going to see the entertaining side. Well, The Miz obviously is more of the entertainer than pro wrestler, versus the pro wrestler in Gunther, who is in the top 3 of professional wrestlers right now, if not top 4, depending on your personal ranking. For me, he's probably in the top 3, but he's not number 1. Just saying. Like, I think this guy's great, but he's not number 1 in the world. But in terms of active in WWE, he's probably the best. There's only 1 or 2 I would say alongside him are in that conversation in WWE, potentially. Maybe 3, 2 or 3, maybe. Depends on how you bracket it. But as an overall package, Gunther is definitely the best they've got. He comes into this obviously as the record-breaking Intercontinental Champion. 1 man, 1 reign, 1 legacy. And he delivers. Like, this man went 3 or 4 pay-per-views without even being on one, because he's tearing people apart. He's making it impossible to beat him. He's been built as that final boss for the Intercontinental title. The Intercontinental title rankings, the reign itself, because they know he's the, and I'm going to quote a legend in the business who also has a podcast with James Romero. Shout out to Dutch Mantel, Storytime with Dutch, their podcast through WSI Wrestling Shoot Interviews. But they have their own channel. Great podcast. I recommend listening to them. Obviously, I've listened to them for a very long time. So shout out to Dutch Mantel and James Romero. And the reason why I'm saying it is because Dutch has said it numerous times, elegantly. Gunther's the next big project for WWE. Like, he's the next big project for top heels. I don't think there's anyone they've got can be presented in such a manner that is on that level of heel. Ada, good to see. Am I doing a watch along? Maybe. We'll see. I don't know yet. I wouldn't mind doing a watch along, but it's just because it's going to be so late. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely not against it. I'm definitely not against a watch along, because watch alongs are fun. We all love a watch along, don't we? We all love a watch along. And I've upgraded the storage today as well, so we've now got more than 100 hours. We've now got 200 hours. 200 hours worth of storage. But we'll carry on. Anyway, I digress. So, the Intercontinental title, obviously, is, of all the championships that WWE has or has ever had, it's probably my favourite. Purely for the championship reigns that this title has actually had over the years. The champions that have gone on to be world champion, the champions that went from world champion to Intercontinental champion, like, it's the perfect title, and it's also the perfect symbol of WWE as a company, where at one point they were great because the Intercontinental title was just as important as the world title. Then when the Intercontinental title dropped off, ironically WWE dropped off. It wasn't until they put, and I'm not saying Gunther's the reason for WWE getting back to where they were, but it's quite ironic that when WWE put the Intercontinental title back, like, on Gunther, the product has also consistently been better as well from that range, and they're building. Now, there's some elements to WWE that I don't like. There's some elements to AEW I don't like. But I want to see them, I'm not going to say crossover, but I want to see the mid-titles be treated seriously, because then it makes the main titles more of an aspiration than just, oh, we're going to go and get it. We want to actually say, well, you've gone from this to this. You want to be shown that you've actually earned that. So, as it stands, Gunther has earned the right to be, I hate the fucking Universal title, but WWE Champion or World Champion. He has that in a nutshell. Niall, hello. Welcome to the stream. Please do share. Please do like and subscribe, of course, to the Weekly Steel Chair. Get this around everybody you know that likes wrestling or even just likes YouTube. Get this out there. Get it shared. The lot. I want to get a good bit of viewers tonight, just so we can have a good conversation. Been live for nearly 13 minutes, so we'll keep going. And of course, this show tonight is sponsored by Sunny D. Bought it at Poundland when I was at work a couple of days ago, and it's worth it because it's just so damn good. It's an iconic drink. Paul Clark, my bud, good to see you, my mate. How you doing? Yep, Gunther is a credible winner over Roman for sure. Absolutely. And I like the comments that Gunther actually brought out recently, saying that the hardest chop he ever felt was Pentagon Jr., which I respect tenfold of. I think he's absolutely incredible. One of my favourites, of course. But I'm not going to mention any other promotions tonight, bar that. I've done my side, I've done that, so I had to get that mentioned in there in the right way. But also the fact is, I want to see mid-card championships and all promotions be treated seriously. Because if you don't, what's the point in having a mid-card championship if you're not going to actually respect your division, respect your roster? And that's what's most important, is respecting your roster. So you've got the Entertainer, the babyface that doesn't seem credible enough to be a babyface, that keeps winning by heelish tactics, The Miz, versus the heel that just beats the piss out of you because he doesn't need to hit you with a low blow. He doesn't need a small package. He doesn't need outside interference. He just needs to chop the piss out of you and hit you with a power bomb, and that's it, or a clothesline, and that's Gunther. So get your predictions in, guys, but I'm going to say for this one, I'm going for championship retain. I'm going for Gunther to retain the Intercontinental title, because frankly, I still want what I want to happen at WrestleMania, and that's Gunther wins the world title as Intercontinental champion, and then just says fuck this and I'm done. He's like, I can't be beat. You can't beat me for the title, so he just vacates it. He does an Ultimate Warrior, but even the Ultimate Warrior, obviously, that's not what happened. Jack Tunney obviously took it off him because he says there should be one man for one championship, not two men. Not one man for two titles. But that's still what I want. A lot of people say, but that's what Samoa Joe did. And I was like, well, yeah, but that's because it's happened numerous times in other promotions. Like, stop getting so teary about it. Oh, I hope he squashes The Miz. Like I would squash him. Because he deserves it. He absolutely deserves everything that's coming to him. I honestly don't like him. In that sense, I just don't believe him as a babyface, you know? Like, I remember when they tried to turn him babyface 2014, 2015 period. And he was doing the figure 4 leg lock at the time with Ric Flair. And the fans hated it. They didn't give a fuck. That's because nobody fucking cares about The Miz as a babyface. And his fans are delusional as well, saying that he's good enough to be a babyface. No, he's not. No, he's fucking not. Get in the bin, all of you. Apologies, let me just grab my pen. I gotta get my predictions in, don't I? So, match or full-on predictions. And if you guys want to take part, feel free, because I'll put your predictions in. So mine's already, I've gone for Gunther to retain, and that's going to be quite an element when you get to the next one. And we'll do a special prediction as well at the very end. But yeah, Gunther to retain the Intercontinental title. It just seems natural to me. Because there's genuinely no one there apart from maybe Ilja Dragunov that on NXT, or Pete Dunne, well, even though he's bloody butch, that I would say, yeah, you can have this man beat Gunther. Like, there's nobody. I don't think Chad Gable's going to get it now. I think his chance is gone. I just don't see it. I don't think it's going to be a Braun Breaker either, because he's also another heel. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. Right, match 2. Women's World Title. Defending champion Rhea Ripley versus Zoey Stark. Right. The NPC of the women's division versus the fast track. So we have Rhea, who's obviously coming into this match champion since WrestleMania. The inaugural Women's World Champion, of course, because they rebranded the Smackdown Women's title into the Women's World title, no problem. And she's been running roughshod ever since. Yet she's also been too busy feuding with men. This one, again, I'm expecting, because it's a 5-match card for tonight's show, and there'll probably be 1 or 2 segments in between, because WWE love their segments. I'm hoping they at least give this match a bit of time, because they have been doing that a fair bit lately, you know what I mean? Like, they've been giving the women a fair chance for time. I'm hoping that they give this one a chance for Zoey to at least try and present herself as a legitimate threat to Rhea, because they've been doing that in segments. But I'm also thinking, will they actually pull the trigger on Zoey Stark to become champion? And that's an easy answer. The answer is no. Like, she's good, Zoey Stark. Like, she's good. She's not great. As for Rhea, her focus is more elsewhere, but when she does return to the women's division to wrestle now and again, you can clearly see the evidence. She's been built up so strongly that It matters a lot when you beat her. Just like it matters when you beat Gunther or whoever beats Roman. Like, even though I can't stand Roman, whoever does beat him, it has to feel important. Same with whoever beats Seth Rollins for the world title. It's got to feel like this is that person that you want to fully shove the rocket on their back and be like, yes, you're our champion, let's go. And we're going to do that. Zoey isn't that one for me. Personally, she isn't that person that I think I believe in you, but I don't believe you're the one who's going to be my world champion. I've also think they've got the wrong opponent, in my opinion. This is not the opponent I would have given to Rhea for Survivor Series. I would have, like, pure bias aside, I think Rhea needs to have a working match to her style, where she needs that combative opponent where she can really throw fists, but also work herself into a match to be like, where people will be reminded, no, she isn't just a powerhouse, she can wrestle, and Rhea can wrestle. But you want to see that element of her being outworked, and she has to recover in a sense of strength. I would have given her Shayna Baszler. I think Shayna Baszler should have been the opponent for Survivor Series, not Zoey Stark. I don't think Zoey Stark was the right choice. But again, when you had the match in Saudi, at Crown Jewel, it was Shayna Baszler that took the pin. So I'm thinking there was like, she's taking the pin in the Fatal 5-Way. What's the best way to get her back involved? You have her win the Battle Royal and then be like, well, I'm coming for revenge. But we're not going to get that revenge bout, and that's fine. My question though is, do you think, and I've already answered that, I said myself, I don't think she is, but to everyone in the live chat that is watching, do you think Zoey Stark is a credible opponent for Rhea Ripley? Forget, just obviously excluding promo work, because Rhea can cook her on the mic. I just mean in terms of actual body of work. In the ring, do you think she is capable of being a genuine threat to Rhea? Me personally, I think the match will be good to an extent if they get given time. But as an overall match and opposition, I don't think she is. And Paul's the same. Nope, Rhea wins this on to next. It gives me Selena vibes. It gives me Rhea versus Selena vibes in Puerto Rico. She's there because she looks great and we'll get the fans on side, but she's walking into a battering. I don't feel it. I don't feel it with Zoey. I think Zoey would do well in a different opportunity, but not this. I think it's the wrong choice. But I'm going to go champion to retain, so that's me got both titles staying where they are, rightfully so. However, one thing I want to add before I move on, this is the last pay-per-view of the year. So I do think you will get us like some sort of like end of the year world title match for the women, and I think Rhea Ripley will have a very strong opponent. I think you might get at the end of the year, you might potentially get Rhea versus Raquel again, or you get a surprise from NXT. I think they will do anything they can to give her something at the end of the year to say your division is not done, but your division is still growing and evolving. I think there's still ways to do it, and that's one of them. Moving on. So, your third match of the night. Okay. Wow. It is. This is a hard call. You're spot on. Men's War Games, Team Nightmare versus Team Judgment Day. Now, before we even discuss this match, first of all, they don't even do it properly. WWE drones, as they're called on social media, the ones that attack any wrestling fan for what they like and what they don't like, they claim that WWE do War Games properly. WWE have had War Games since 2019 as a match, and they've never done it properly once. They've been good. Let me just refrain from just saying that. They've been good, but they're not done properly. A War Games match back in 1987 under the NWA banner, and it was then taken on by WCW, was 2 ways to win: submission or knockout. No pinfall. Ever since WWE have done War Games, it's been who gets the pinfall. I want WWE to do the War Games properly. So put the roof on. Put the roof on the match, on the cage, and revert back to the old ways of winning, which is submission or knockout. Okay, that part's done. Now on to the match itself. So the team members as follows. So we have on Team Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, World Champion Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, who crapped his pants on Raw, and Randy Orton, who hasn't wrestled in 550 days. On Team Judgment Day, we have Damian Priest, Finn Balor, JD McKillmasole, Drew McIntyre, and Dominic Mysterio. In terms of the match, team-wise, it'll be the same in the match we'll be coming towards at the very end in terms of actual order they've put it on when I wrote the matches down. The actual factions are, of course, the favourites. Judgment Day in the men's, Damage Control for the women. However, the men's one is more unpredictable than the women. The reason I think the men's one is more unpredictable is the factions all have, the faction and the opposition team all have one thing in common: Jey Uso. Jey Uso obviously has involvement with every single one of them. He has cost them all at one point in time world championships or championship matches or just matches in general. They've done that through him and his family, because that's storytelling. That was what they did. When you think about the meaning behind Jey Uso in this match simply is he's been trying to prove to the Raw roster that he is trustworthy, that you can trust him in this match, that yes, he has done a lot of prove what he's been asked to do. He's done a lot of shit. He's made mistakes. He's acted in a way that he's been told to do by Roman and how the show was planned, obviously, etc. So that's storytelling. But now he's on the flip side where he's actually thinking, okay, I am really in trouble here. And I like that. I like the unpredictability because it's not 5-on-5. Theoretically, this could change in different ways. It could. It's not going to happen, but theoretically it can. It's always good, this drink. Always good. Actually calling this one. First of all, who's going to start the match? Who's going to get the crucial entries? And who's going to come in last is very important. We know that Judgment Day has the advantage. And they should. They should have the advantage because they are the dominant team. They are the only legitimate team in this match. So if they didn't have the advantage, even though they're heels, then it really takes away the position of the card. It takes away the involvement. This is likely to be the main event. I would actually put this as the main event, unless you've got something in store that needs a shock. And we'll come to shocks later on. It's the way that this match is going to be done that makes me think, okay, we've got something here. And I think that's what they're looking for. So, Team Nightmare or Team Judgment Day? I think if you want to start this match, you've got to go with the best conditioned athletes. So I would actually say Cody Rhodes and Finn Balor should start, in my opinion. That's what I want to see. I think Finn Balor and Cody Rhodes are the two best conditioned to go. Seth Rollins, I know I'm saying that, obviously he's had a fantastic year. His conditioning is great. But the champion doesn't always have to start first. Similar to like Ric Flair. Ric Flair was great in War Games. Ric Flair is probably the best performer to ever take part in War Games, consistently anyway. I think it's the right way to go, to have those two start, and I would have McIntyre and Rollins come out last. But the actual concept of the match, because it's 5-on-5, you're gonna get something. I am going for Team Nightmare to win. I think the Judgment Day will lose this, even though theoretically they shouldn't be. I think they'll maintain the strength of the babyfaces, but also constantly teasing the issues with Jey Uso now that Randy Orton is back in the fold. And Paul's asked an amazing question. Paul's question is, are you feeling a Randy turn maybe? As Riddle gone so unsure if Randy stays babyface. A lot of people are saying that Randy Orton's going to turn heel at Survivor Series. Me personally, I think you shouldn't pull the trigger straight away. He's only just returned from injury after 550 days. I think it would be a bit harsh on Randy to take the heel turn away, to take the babyface moment away from him and turn him heel. Even though we all know what Randy Orton is better at. He is so much better at being heel. I think when you want to put him in an element, I think you can have him be babyface for so long, and then he just snaps. Similar to, funnily enough, Drew McIntyre, where he's been told X, Y, Z. He's actually telling the truth. But he turns heel because he's like, if this is how you're going to treat me, then fine. He realizes what he needs to do to get ahead and to put people in their place. I think Randy Orton will be the same circumstance where he'll tell Jey Uso and he'll tell Cody Rhodes, because I expect him to get Cody after Jey. We just carry on this way. Not gonna lie, I would have preferred a Sami Zayn heel turn. I think that would have been a complete throwout. I think that would, not a throwout for the match, but a throwout where it's out there. You would never see it coming. It is likely to be the main event, so this one has to deliver. It has to deliver. As long as they remove the pinfall part, and they just make it a submission or knockout, how War Games originally and properly was. If you don't do it properly, then you've you're just ruining the whole concept. Have it as a pin or have it as a submission or a knockout, and that means we'll get to see once and for all who breaks. But I am going for Team Nightmare because it will plant the seed. I think they'll plant the seed of Randy Orton turning heel soon. But by planting the seed, you at least have the tease where we know Jey Uso was afraid, because we all know the last time Randy Orton was on WWE television, he got taken out by the Bloodline. Jey Uso was involved. Obviously, that helped because Randy Orton was ultimately injured. But they'll carry that over. So that's 550 days of, okay, we can plot this. What's he done in that meantime besides recovering? Is he watching Jey Uso? Is he studying Jey Uso? And we'll see what we get. So yeah, I'm gonna go for that. So I'm good, and I think what you'll get Cody, because WWE insists on a pin. Cody gets the pin, but after we get the tease of an RKO is coming for Jey, I think you'll get it. Because to be fair, people are already talking about an RKO and Jey Uso at Survivor Series, so they've already ruined the element of the RKO, which is out of nowhere, that surprise hint. So we already kind of expect an RKO is coming, so what's the point? What I want to see is you just keep planting, bang! You do it, you take them out, and then we move, and we see where it goes. And that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I personally hope for. So I'm going Team Nightmare. But it won't be long before Drew McIntyre gets his reward as well. Just like I said, Seth Rollins would get his reward. Drew will soon get his. Okay. Match number 4. Mr. Consistent on TV, Dragon Lee, because he's been very consistent as of late. He is in the match with Santos, who obviously turned heel post Crown Jewel. I actually think this is going to be a bit of a fun match, like 10-15 minutes on pay-per-view, bit of fun. You got Luchador, and then you got the unmasked Luchador. We just go through it, we have a bit of fun, we see where it goes, and we go home. That's what this is going to be. This is a go-home match. It's not a bad filler, but it's a filler. But it'll be fun, because Santos as a heel is great. Dragon Lee's entertaining. He was amazing in New Japan. Like, his work was outstanding. So you're going to get something extra here from Santos, where Santos is going to raise his game in a different way. I think you may see the appearances of Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. I think you might see them on the show, because that is confirmed. It is going to be Garza and Carrillo are going to be joining Santos in his new faction. But it also means we're going to get, even though he's out injured, we are going to get Rey Mysterio and Carlito with Dragon Lee. What I want to see though, because I mentioned it earlier on, funnily enough, when I mentioned Rhea Ripley's match, I want to see whose side Zelina really is on. Because as a babyface or heel, she's likable and hateable. Because people really do like seeing her succeed, but they also love to hate her as well. I think you've got to ride momentum. Dragon Lee's had very good TV matches as of late. But Santos turning heel, obviously, you have to ride his momentum. You've got to keep him going. You've got to let him continue with his work. You've got to let him continue to push himself to that next level of being heel again. Because obviously he did turn heel with the LWO, with Rey Mysterio, and then obviously he turns on him after Crown Jewel, because obviously the plot twist thanks to Carlito reminded him that it was him that handed Logan Paul left Logan Paul the brass knucks. Again, that match conclusion was stupid because Rey Mysterio can coherently speak when you get punched in the jaw with brass knuckles. Again, stupid. But I actually do think this match will be good, because I've always liked Santos, I've always liked Dragon Lee. I think because it's going to be such a fast-paced match, a little bit of slow down here and there because that's WWE formula and all that, and that's completely acceptable. But Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar will want to get some speed. They'll want to work the crowd. But you want to see them do it in the old luchador ways. So I'm hoping we get a little bit of that. Maybe we get a little bit of out-the-box thinking from Santos. I mean, Santos, of course, aware of a mask. Could we see him try to take Dragon Lee's off? Now, obviously, I called it before that I'm sick of seeing it on Pentagon Jr. I'm not saying you go take the mask off, but you tease it to at least put Dragon Lee under suspicion and wary about his performance, and he gets caught. And then Santos definitively pins him. Or you just have a good match and Santos still beats him. I think you have to go with the heels on this one. There's no reason for Dragon Lee to win, other than the fact that Dragon Lee is a fantastic wrestler. There's no reason for Santos to lose to Dragon Lee. This is Santos' time. Santos has to get a definitive pay-per-view win after turning heel, because you want to keep building his momentum. Whereas Dragon Lee's already got good momentum from good TV matches on Smackdown, that he doesn't need a pay-per-view win right now. He can get a win at the Royal Rumble if he's not in the match. If he's just in a normal match at the Rumble, you could have Dragon Lee rematch with Santos, and that leads to Carlito, and then it leads to Rey, Santos, however they want to do it. You do it in that way. It's smart, it's clever, and it's good wrestling. It's good wrestling if you do a build-up stage and you do a follow-up after follow-up after follow-up with the right kill trigger. I would personally go WrestleMania if he's around. I think he will be there. WrestleMania, I would do Lee, Carlito, Mysterio versus Santos, Carrillo, Garza. 6-man tag match at WrestleMania. That's what I would do. Because that's a good kill for this feud. It's definitive and it's over. They've already beaten the Free, so we then move. And I think that's what you get. And that's what I hope to see anyway. I think it's wise. Especially because it's good continuity. More than just a storytelling, it's continuity. And that's what you need. You need to have some continuity. Without getting overdone and lost in the shuffle, and then you claim you're in third innings when you're actually just stupid. So let's have it done the right way. So, Santos, Escobar. I grant you my winner's prediction. Okay. 46 minutes in, we're now coming to the main event. Well, not necessarily the main event, but it's the main event of the predictions because it's the last match, and then we're going to talk about other things on the show that you want to hope to see, want to talk about. We're going to do that. So, here we go. Team Belair. Yeah, we're going to talk about Mr. Phil. We are going to talk about Mr. Phil Brooks. We will talk about him, don't you worry. But in the meantime, Women's War Games match. Team Belair versus Team Damage Control. This is the easiest one of the two to predict, in my opinion. Momentum wise, it's purely with Damage Control. They lost last year. Damage Control were in this match last year and lost. Fast forward a year, you've got tension brewing where Bayley could be getting kicked out of her own faction. Kairi Sane's just returned and joined them. Asuka has joined them. Dakota Kai is not fully fit to compete. And Io Sky is still women's champion. On the opposite side, you've got Bianca Belair, who shouldn't be a babyface because her gimmick isn't a babyface. You've got Shotzi, who produced the worst promo I've ever seen, or one of the worst I've ever seen last night. And I like Shotzi. That promo was awful. That felt so badly rushed. And it exposed her on a different level. It exposed her, and that is so wrong. You've then got the experience of Becky Lynch as a main eventer. And then you've got experience again in another main eventer who I don't like, but her experience is pivotal, and that's Charlotte Flair. I said it for the men's War Games that the factions are the favourites, but it doesn't necessarily mean the factions should win. This is a match where the faction has to win because you're getting something extra. You can get two positives out of this match besides Damage Control winning. The first is the teasing of Bianca Belair turning heel, which they have to do. Like, have her walk away like a beat down or something like that. She just walks away and she enjoys it. I don't know. It feels right. The second is Bayley getting kicked out of Damage Control, because Bayley going back to being a babyface after what, 4 years, 5 years is long overdue. I've always liked Bayley. Out of the four horsewomen, the two I liked the most was Mercedes Moné and Bayley, because I think they had more to their gimmick, more to their character, more to their style, and you can see that they were genuinely the more interesting duo. I think Becky Lynch, I used to really like Becky Lynch. Now I'm just here and there with her, partly because she copies this man all the time, which really annoys me. And her rhyming on her promos are genuinely not fun at all. They're not good. Then we've got Charlotte, who I've never liked, because she has been pushed way beyond bloody Neptune in terms of orbit. She's been pushed to the point where Pluto doesn't exist anymore. She's been pushed that far since day one because of her name, and it took away any sense of enjoyment in her. I remember her first NXT run. She was champion for such a long period of time after Paige. Well, Soraya now. And I'm thinking, okay, she's a little bit different, a little bit more unique. Let's see what we get. And instead, what we got is a woman who calls her spots in every match and can't hit a moonsault to save herself. Generally not good enough. But in a War Games match, experience is everything. Experience is important. And, well, frankly, Charlotte has no experience in a War Games match. But she can probably call the nepotist arc and try and channel her inner Ric Flair. Not that it matters anyway, because Charlotte's shit. If the babyfaces win this match, then what's the point in Damage Control as a faction? Becky Lynch shouldn't be in this match. She's past it. And she's only in it because she's got communication to this when she shouldn't be involved. It should just be a Smackdown match. Shotzi, after that promo on Smackdown, she needs to be knocked out. Charlotte should probably start the match because that's what she does. Like, she thinks she's a superior athlete, so she'll probably start. And then Becky will probably conclude, which is fine. Women's side, I'd like Kairi Sane to start. I would start with Kairi Sane, and I'd conclude with Io. But that's just me. I would start with Kairi, conclude with Io, and then you mix up between Asuka and Bayley in there. And then, as soon as the match is over, you got the heel standing tall over the baby faces, but Bianca Belair just gets up and goes. She just leaves. And Bayley gets her head caved in by the Joshis. That's exactly what I would do. It's not gonna. I doubt it's gonna happen, but that's exactly what I would do. That's exactly what I would do. It's unlikely it's gonna happen, but that is what I would do. So, for that one, again, run it back. Team Damage Control is my prediction for that one. Okay. Let's talk CM Punk. Since Keen's in the chat, and he thinks that CM Punk's going to return at Survivor Series. He's a good man, Keen, but question is, do I think CM Punk is going to return at Survivor Series? When he was already at another Chicago pay-per-view recently. I would like him to return at Survivor Series for a different reason. And no, not to see people's tears on the channel. Because frankly, I like CM Punk. I just think he's a bit at times too controversial. I would like him to return purely because certain portions of that fan base need humbled. They need humbled for the fact that CM Punk stands up for certain rights for humanity. And I mentioned this on the Full Gear watch along, because I got asked, do I think CM Punk returns? And I've been asked this a few times. CM Punk, if he returns at Survivor Series, I hope he returns holding a sign, say, like in support of LGBTQ plus rights and all that stuff. Because fans on social media have been coming out saying that they claim they're fans, but they're not. They're just wankers. Have been coming out all across social media saying they don't want to see that gay, like their exact words, by the way, these tweets, I'm not saying this, they don't want to see this gay pride shit in WWE, keep that shit away. When they watch Sonya Deville, they watch Shayna Baszler, they watch Finn Balor, and they'll watch CM Punk, and they don't want to see this stuff. Now, Finn Balor's not gay. He stands up for that. He stands up for pride, etc. Shayna Baszler obviously is a lesbian. So's, well, you're lesbian or bisexual. And Sonya Deville obviously is a lesbian. CM Punk stands up for for pride rights. He stands up for the LGBTQ and all that. He stands up for them. I would like to see that just to shut those people up and watch the tears just flow over the timeline before I leave Twitter in 2024. There you go, there's another announcement. I'm leaving Twitter in 2024. The podcast isn't stopping, don't worry, like the channel will still go, but as of 2024, I'm walking away from Twitter. I've done it in 2011, I'm doing it again this year. I'm walking away. The good side to CM Punk returning is, well, is he the one that Nakamura's been talking about in his cryptic promos? I like to think so, but I think the one he's talking about is AJ Styles, the one person that he couldn't beat. I think that really has to unfold. I think CM Punk, if he does return, I want to see him immediately face Roman for the title. And I actually would have CM Punk beat Roman Reigns for the title as well. And just scrap the Universal side and just put it back to the WWE title. I would. I've got no interest in Roman Reigns as champion. I've got no interest in Roman Reigns as a performer. I never have. I never will. I want him out of the picture. But it's not going to happen. Anyway, it's not going to happen because he's not back until the Royal Rumble. But for Punk, do I think CM Punk returns at Survivor Series? No. Do I think CM Punk returns to WWE? Yes. Do I think it's at the Royal Rumble? Yes. I don't think Punk returns at Survivor Series. And I say this hoping I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think he will. I don't think he will. Paul, thank you, my mate. It's been good having you in the chat. I really do appreciate it. I'm just about to get out here as well. I'm just doing the 1 hour show, but because it's been a good preview. Again, reiterate, I don't think Punk returns. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think he will. I think he returns at the Rumble. And I actually hope that he returns at the Rumble because it's 10 years from when he walked out after WWE mistreated him. I think it would be more important than returning at Survivor Series in Chicago. Because last night at Smackdown, interested. They weren't interested. And I think that says it all. If they're not interested, don't pull off there. I would do it at the Royal Rumble. Whereas out with, completely different, and it's not a saturated audience. But we'll see. In the meantime, to everyone that's watched, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, of course. I will be back later. But in the meantime, look after yourselves, take care, and please do like, share, and subscribe. If you do have any questions regarding the podcast or the channel, or if you want to be on shows, etc. going forward, let me know. But especially because we've got so much coming out, I want to make this more and more involved and better. But I can only do that if with people obviously there support me, and I do have a lot of people support, and a few faces will be returning to the podcast very soon. So, in the meantime, thank you all. Good night, good weekend, and enjoy Survivor Series. Bye for now.